shell, you want a 1 second or a 1.5 second delay between breaks on a multi-break shell. Time fuse just won't work. This piece of time fuse here represents 1.5 second delay. Where the blue mark is on the outside of the disc there is the point where I'll need to cross match the shell. When the shell is finished, all the pasting's done and it's ready to lift and leader. I've cross matched the inside here and it's up against the disc already. Now if I take these discs and let's say this disc represents 4 turns of craft paper which you're going to pleat down over the end of this disc when you form the shell casing. Let's pop that on top. This one is the second disc you're going to place over the pleated paper layers. This disc represents the millimetre thick or 1.5 millimetre thick spiking you're going to put over the completed shell casing. And this disc represents the paste layer, which ideally wants to lap up against the time fuse to seal it properly. So pop that over the top as well. And now you can see that the point where you need to cross match it is gone. And this is just on a 1.5 second delay. A second delay and it's well underneath all of that. So you just can't use time fuse on very short delays. So using it this way, by putting it in the tube, you can obtain those short delays and use it for, as I do on small multi-breaks. I often use this kind of fuse on a 3-inch multi-break, 3 or 4 break, although I do use a spolette on anything bigger than that. So you do it the same way. You take your little tube, you take a very short length of time fuse, the blue mark is where you want to cross match it on the outside, you put your glue on it, you insert it, you put it through your end disc, and then the only difference in this case is I would put 1 or 2 pieces of black match into the tube first and push them nice and tightly up against the end of the time fuse in there. Now pop your centre tube over the top and glue it and tie it up. Put your extra pieces of black match in the end here and tie it off as I did with this one. And in this way you can get 1.5 seconds delay on the timing, or even down to 1 second. When you've finished your shell casing, as you can see with this 4-inch, it's got the 2 discs on, it's got the pleated layers of paper, and there's still loads of this red tube poking out the top, and it's really strong. I can put my spiking around here and do the 90-degree turns as you spike it and pull really tightly on it. I'm not pulling against a bendy, flimsy piece of time fuse. And when I come to my paste layer, I'll wrap the paste layer up against the red tube here and give it a real good seal.